Hi, everybody. This is Alan Bourgeois. Welcome to the Authors Marketing Event 2023. This is our 8th year doing it and also our last year doing it. And we're finishing the year off with Sharon Jenkins, who is doing a great presentation for you, Unlock the Bank, Your Writing Potential. But who is Sharon? Sharon is a lady who has written a few books herself, but has helped many other authors explore and grow and become successful in their own careers and stuff. She is working now on a new project, and it's Superhero Granny.
Yes, Super
Okay.
Granny, yes.
So
That's
she's working with grannies who have stories to tell. And we know
it.
there are a lot of grandparents out there with lots of stories to tell. So she's helping them create their stories, their books, and stuff like that. So to unlock the bank and your potential, I am going to be turning it over to Sharon Jenkins. Welcome.
Thank you, Alan. Well, let's see. We're going to bring up my little PowerPoint, and we're going to talk about how to find the money. Yes, it's out there. I mean, do not believe that the money is not out there. It is. There are a lot of people who sometimes say, oh, you can't make any money writing a book. Well, you need to own the right to your book. Own the right to your book. And you may say, well, self-publishing is expensive. Yeah, it can be, but it's like starting any other business. If you were to start a business, you would need to have a capital infusion in order to make it work. Okay? So I'm going to share with you some things that you can do to build capital so that you can unlock the bank to your book dream, making your writing a book dream a reality. You don't have to sit back in the chair wondering, what will it take for me to get the money to write my book? I'm going to share 13 different ways for you to do that. Okay? So let's go to the next slide. Welcome again to Show Me the Money Workshop. Yes, and I'm going to show you the money. Okay. So why self-publish and spend lots of money? That's the question that we ask ourselves. But remember, I said earlier, you need to own the right of your money, of your books. You need to own them, their products. You need to own the rights to publish your book solely if that's what you want to do. So financing a self-published book can be a challenge, but there are several strategies you can use to raise funds for your project. And I'm about to share those with you. Get ready. Here's how. Personal savings. Look at what you have already set aside, and you can use this money to invest in yourself. This is the simplest and most straightforward option for you. Go to your savings account and see what's in there and decide how much of that money you want to invest in yourself. The second thing is get a part-time job. Find some part-time work. You might want to freelance, if you're a good editor, if you're a good writer, you could write articles. If you like to consult, you like to help people do things, identify what that is and start consulting. if there is anything that you do well, perhaps someone has told you, you know what, you do this very well, then market it. Market it, okay? Let me share a little something with you. If you don't have an idea what that is, go take a personality test. Talk to your friends. They will help you identify what that is. Or if there's anything that you like to do that you would do it for free, then that's the thing that you need to do and put some money, put a price tag on it. Okay, now we're going to go to the next slide. What about crowdfunding? Platforms like Kickstarter and Indiegogo allow you to create crowdfunding campaigns to raise money for your book. It has a twofold purpose. You raise money and then you raise awareness that the book is coming. And all you have to do is offer rewards for that particular book. For example, you could offer a signed copy of the book, or you could offer a special edition or other incentives to get people to buy that book, bookmarks, or maybe come up with a fun idea, maybe you'll dance at the wedding. Be creative. That's who you are, okay? And then you can pre-sell your book. You can offer pre-orders of your book to your audience before it's published. It builds your readership, it builds your marketing awareness, and it helps you pay for some of your upfront funds to cover your publishing costs. Next, let's talk about grants and scholarships. Some organizations and institutions offer grants and scholarships for beginning writers or people who are self-publishing their projects. You want to look for that opportunity or those opportunities. Now, what I brought with me today, here is Poet and Writers. And in this magazine, they monthly give you what scholarships and grants are available. I love it because all I need to do is flip to that section and see if I fit in any way. And like I said, you can get it on a monthly basis. So everything is current. There's another market guide. This is the Christian Writers Market Guide. This is 2022. And they also have a section in here where you can actually go and look for contests, okay? And last but not least, this Writers Market, the 100th edition, this is an excellent resource. Now, I'm going to keep this for a while, and as the years go on, some of these places may go bye-bye, but others will still be around and relevant if you want to check out if a grant or a sponsorship or scholarship is still available. Use your fingers and do the walking to Google, and that will help you decide if you really are ready and want to apply. And then crowdsourcing funds from fans. If you are a beginning writer, let me share a tip with you. You have a very warm audience in your friends, in your family, and also in your professional associates, because they want to support you. Let's say you belong to a sorority or fraternity. Guess what? Share with everyone. Make a list of those people who are close to you, those professional organizations and associations that you are affiliated with. Some of you have been serving in these nonprofits and religious organizations forever. So guess what? It's time for them to start serving you. So keep that in mind. Next, let's talk about self-financing with revenue streams. If you have other income streams, such as a day job or investments, you can allocate a portion of those funds to your self-publishing project. So, and that makes good sense. Back in the day, as you can see, I am a granny. Back in the day, there was the possibility and the availability to save for a Christmas account. So you could buy Christmas gifts and toys and all that wonderful for your loved ones. Well, if you appropriate a certain amount of your income in a savings account for your book writing project, when you reach a certain amount, you can, guess what? Self-finance your book project. All right. And then the next thing is you can borrow money. Now, it's not always advisable to borrow money, but if you choose, you could get a personal loan from a friend, a credit union. You could use your credit cards or lines of credit to finance your book. Be very cautious with this approach because you don't want to accumulate debt that you can't manage. All right, so that's the disclaimer. But borrowing money is an option. All right. So let's talk about seeking a publishing grant specifically for your genre. Like I said in these books that I shared with you and the magazines that I shared with you, there are also organizations, writers' organizations who give grants in the arts and literature sections. There may even be some state grants that will do that, who support the arts, who support humanities, who support those things. And they love to support new up and coming authors who are creating and publishing books. So research those, not just on a national level, but you're at a state level and also at a local level. There are organizations in your community that support authors. Find out what they are and research whether or not they have grants or scholarships. One of the best places to reach out to get a good start in this is, number one, go to your meetups and identify which meetups are in your area. Authors themselves and authors groups are great resources, especially if they've been in the business for a while. So start networking and establishing those relationships, okay? And collaboration, this leads into our next item, and that's collaboration. Consider collaborating with other authors or artists on your project. For example, if you know a graphic designer and you like their works and they're in your network, you're a writer, sometimes they need writers, you collaborate, okay? And you share the cost and the responsibilities. That way you can reduce your individual financial burden. Find a co-author right? Who is proficient in your genre. That's also another marketing tool. If you co-author a book with someone, that's not just one person marketing a book, but two people marketing a book. And if you are a first-time author, that's a great place to start. Okay. Next, let's talk about partnerships and sponsorships. You want to explore the possibility of partnering with businesses, organizations, or sponsors that have an interest in your book's subject matter or target audience. For example, I had a client who wrote a book about social media and its effect on young people, trying to build awareness for parents to be watchful of what their children are doing on social media to protect them so that they can be safe. Okay, and we live in an environment, unfortunately, where that's much needed. Well, she could partner with the local police department. She could partner with the nonprofits in the area that handle children's safety. That's huge. So look beyond your book and identify local businesses and nonprofits that have a like vision. And once you do that, then approach them about a partnership or sponsorship. For example, if a business has a national annual convention, you could possibly convince them to put your book in their giveaway bag. That's huge. Let's say they have over 1,000 people coming. That's great marketing. And also, you can offer them your book at a reduced rate. Marketing, and that builds your financial resources to get your book done. All right. And they may provide financial support or in-kind support in exchange for promotion or an endorsement in the book. Now, when I say in-kind support, I mean they may print your book for you if you're self-publishing. They may have their editing team review your book. There are tons of things that partnering, when you partner with a business or professional organization or nonprofit, that they can do. And that leads me into the next topic, and that is bartering services. You could find individuals or businesses willing to provide you what you need for your book: editing, cover design, marketing, in exchange for your skills or services. Let's say they need someone to do a monthly newsletter, and they don't have the resources in-house to create, compile, and to send that thing out, but they need to have one. You could say, I will do your newsletter for you if you do A, B, C, D in this process of me putting this book together. See, you have to start thinking about forming a team to help you finance your book project. It means a lot. It takes a village to create a book. You need an editor, you need a graphic designer, you'll need distribution, you'll need a printer, you'll need all these wonderful kinds of things. So you are not in this particular journey or on this particular journey by yourself. Well, get smart and use other resources to help you finance your project. Okay. And here's our last one, book pre-sales. I absolutely love this option. It helps you to market your book to potential readers. And then it puts you in a place where you can go to local bookstores, libraries, or book clubs. Remember meetups. Okay, that's where you're going to find your readers also, not just fellow authors, but your readers in book clubs to see if they're interested in bulk purchases or pre-orders for your book. If you are writing a nonfiction book that is a hot topic in today's society, you will be able to find an organization who has the same empathy that you have for that particular subject matter. Or let's say you are writing a novel and that novel is geographically located in a certain place. Why not go to the local chamber of commerce and tell them about your book project and see if there is a way that you all can work together to not only market your book, but finance your book? Okay, so I've given you 13 things that you can do to finance your book project. Also, let me share a little tidbit with you. I have written a book that is the same title of this workshop. And what you should do, I'm suggesting strongly, so that you can do a financial assessment of where you are now. Go onto Amazon and purchase the book so you can do a financial assessment to determine where you are and compare how much discretionary income you have or need in order to get your book done. So I'm pointing you over to good old Amazon to purchase a book that is the same topic of this particular workshop that will help you start this journey. Okay. One last word of advice for you. Remember that self-publishing can be an investment, and it's essential to create a budget that includes all expenses such as editing, cover design, formatting, marketing, and distribution. Carefully, and I repeat, carefully, plan your fundraising strategy to cover these costs and ensure the success of your self-published book. After all, you are making an investment in a product that you expect to sell in the marketplace. It's just like you've invented a new comb, you've invented a new food product. You have to put the same amount of energy into creating and marketing and publishing and distributing his book, just like any other person who is an entrepreneur or solopreneur. Additionally, consider seeking advice from experienced self-published authors or joining self-publishing communities for insights and support in your fundraising efforts. There is a selfpublishing.com. Go out and find those resources. There are authors who have been in the business forever, and they are a wealth of information, and they send out maybe a weekly or a monthly newsletter or email with the latest and the greatest in the industry. Join them, sign up for them, and you will be on the cutting edge. You will not only be informed when you publish your self-published book, but you will be financially stable because you did some or one of the things that I suggested in getting the funding that you need in order to self-publish your book. So I want to say thank you for joining me today. Let me tell you a little bit about me. See, in the beginning, it was all about you, but I am affectionately known as Super Author Granny, and I've been in the industry for about 15 years. I self-published over 26 books, and I've worked with hundreds of authors. I would love to work with you as a consultant. I have been doing book production for that long. I have a host of resources, and I offer some of the best advice with a lot of love, because there are a lot of myths out there. And as a newbie, as a new self-publisher, you may need a little help to navigate this journey. So I'm offering my services. Just check me out at superauthorgranny.com, or you can send me an email at sharoncjenkins@gmail.com. And yes, I am Super Author Granny. Thank you so much for tuning into this workshop. We want to see you financially live out your dream of writing a book in a stable, comforting, not an aggravating environment of stress. We want you to write your book and write it with the flair and the finesse and the finances that you need in order to be successful. Thank you very much for tuning in today. And remember, I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. And go out there and write that book. Bye-bye. Hi, Alan, I'm back. I can't hear you.
Sorry about that. There was a question for you. You were
What?
talking in reference to sponsorships and things of that nature. I've known some authors that have written children's books that involve animals, adoptions, things of that nature. Do you have any words of advice for how they can work with other nonprofits to help either market or help pay for their book?
Well, first and foremost, know what's in your city. Know which nonprofits are in your city and research, go to their websites, because 9 times out of 10, they have websites, and identify their pain points. When I say pain points, those things that motivate them to be reactive. And if those things align with what your children's book is talking about, then that's the bridge to start the conversation. So you need to know what's available in your area, and that involves research. Then you need to come up with a pitch based on the strengths of your book and the strengths of your personal and professional experience. So you got to give them a good reason to invest in you and your book project. So what experience do you have in this area? It can be personal, it can be professional, it can be educational, or maybe you serve at a nonprofit, or maybe you have a personal experience, but identify what bridges you with that nonprofit organization and put together a pitch. Show them the similarities and then lay out what it is that you want them to do. I hope I answered the question, Alan.
Yes, and thank you. Before we let you go, if you would say your website one more time.
www.superauthorgranny.com.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
No, I think that was it.
Okay. All right.